I could keep going.
Well, your mic's still on.
Okay. In that case, when it comes to the board packets themselves, as far as like what is confidential and what is not confidential, it's already been made a motion that we, as a board, to the board, that we get on the agenda to release the information in the board packets. It was stated in 2019, previous board president, Cindy Dam, that, and the governance committee also kept that from the agenda based on a citizen's recommendation to the board. It was stated that the board docs was coming online. Those would be made available, and they have not been made available. So my last question would be, has the superintendent been instructed to keep that information from the community? Or is that a personal, or is that the superintendent's decision?
What's not available?
Like if you go to, like on the board docs, you can see the public content, administrative content, executive content. We have essentially the board packet is uploaded to board docs,
Yep.
but it's not released to public content. Very limited amount of information is released. So again, that certainly puts us board members in a very slippery position where we might not know what we can share and what we cannot share. Now,
If I remember the conversation from, what was it, over a year ago? It was when we were transitioning to board docs, and that was part of what was complicated to get it available, because things were in the old system and in the new system. Right? Does that match with what you remember?
well, so instead of just posting the board packets to the website in a sort of 1990s fashion, we're going to have it then posted to the board docs, and then they would be available. And they are already uploaded to board docs, yet they're still not released to the public.
So you're saying the current, if I don't log in, you're saying that it's not, what we see is not available to the public?
So
I had logged in just a little while ago without my user ID and password, and there was material there. I didn't go item by item to verify, but
yeah, so for the agenda item currently, you have the memo is on public content, and then the memo plus the monitoring report is on administrative content and executive content. It's still not released to the public, even though it is being uploaded to board docs. Now, so yeah, as far as treatment of owners goes, I mean, this is, I
So
mean,
I'd
just,
make a clarification that if something is uploaded to the board packet, that is a document that is subject to open records and is accessible to the public. That record and that document should already be identified with any confidential information. That is the standard for our board packet, is that all information that is uploaded. That's why our monitoring reports, for example, when there are small numbers of students, don't have data on them. So based on the board packets, everything should be de-identified and confidential. So can that information, it's subject to open records if someone would like to request that board packet. We've had this conversation on more than one occasion. So there is no concerns that I have regarding confidential information. If you would ever see some in a board packet, something that is confidential, that's something that we should be sending an email to the board president and the superintendent prior to a meeting, because there shouldn't be confidential information in our board packets. They are subject to request by a public member. We've had that conversation.
right, and that sort of ties it back to what I was starting this conversation with, which was December 14th regular open session board meeting contained that contract. There's no indication that,
You've made your point and belabored it several times. What type of response are you looking to get?
so as I said, my final question is, as far as releasing the board packets to the public, two-way communication, treatment of our owners, is that material being withheld from the public as a decision made from the superintendent, or was the district admin instructed not to release that?
The information is not withheld from the public. We just had that conversation. It is requestable.
An open records request is not the same thing as just releasing it. You yourself went to, DeForest it was? It's just to their website, right? Gleefully talking about how you can just get that information.
That is a decision that the board has made.
So it's, okay, and as I said, the board itself has made sure that monitoring reports, releasing monitoring reports as an agenda item does not get on the agenda. I am asking the superintendent about board docs specifically.
I have not made that decision. That is not my decision to make. If that's what you're asking, Lee, am I the one who has solely made that decision? No, that has been the board's decision,
Okay.
not mine.
Okay, so I'll take that as you've been instructed to not release that information.
The board has made that decision in this room. As a board, you have made that decision not to put those documents on this, to release those documents.
As open release on the platform.
Correct.
Right.
That has not been my decision.
So I could find that in the minutes, the vote in the minutes of a previous board meeting. Is that what you're saying in that?
I don't know why you're asking me.
You're the one who's saying that the board made that decision. When was that decision made?
I can't give you a date.
That's been a long time ago.
I mean, off the top of my head, to give you a date, I don't have that information. I know the governance committee has discussed it at one point, sometime in the last 3 years, more than once in the last 3 years when I've been on the board and on the governance committee, but I can't give you a date off the top of my head.
No.
Okay. Okay. So we have public content, we have the memo, we have our content, which is memo and monitoring report. And those distinctions about what's being uploaded where was made several years ago
All
before
right,
we were.
we've heard
given
enough
awards.
of you going on and on in this soliloquy. We don't need to hear any more. You're trying to beat a dead horse. As far as board packets being loaded on that board docs, that is not part of this discussion. If you want to bring that up as something else, we can do that in agenda planning, but that's not what we're here for right now. Your line of questioning is out of order. We're moving on. Keith?
Just wanted to echo Julie and Travis's comments.